assembly in a typical comprehensive school. It could be anywhere in the country. It just happens that 3 years ago, this school and these pupils were the centre of a survey conducted by a local authority medical officer. She wanted to find out about glue sniffing, and so all the pupils were issued with confidential questionnaires. They were asked whether they'd had any experiences of sniffing glue and whether they'd come across other kinds of drugs. They were also asked about their smoking and drinking habits. When the survey was analysed, it wasn't the scale of glue sniffing which was surprising, but something no one expected. Some of the pupils admitted to drinking quite large amounts of alcohol. Among the 16-year-olds, almost half the boys and 1/3 of the girls claimed they drank an average of 2 pints of beer or its equivalent a day, in the misguided belief, perhaps, that a little drink wouldn't do them any harm. We talked to a group of local teenagers, including 3 past pupils of the school, with the full permission of their parents. Even making allowances for adolescent bragging, they casually accept heavy drinking as being just a normal part of teenage life.
When I first had some booze and got legless, I was about 12.
But did you get served in pubs when you were that young?
Not at 12. About 14 and 15. You know,
pub, weren't there?
it's just one pub I used to go in, and I always got served in it. So I used to dress up and used to put all my suits on and that.
Where did you get your money to buy a drink to go in the streets?
With a couple of mates. Just put all the money together. Pocket money or babysitting money. Used to scratch your mates or just ask people off the street. Then just 10 pence, mate, I want to go home. Lost my piss fare, you know.
And people gave you money?
Yeah. I used to do that quite often.
And how long have you been drinking?
Since I was about 14. I used to drink cider, but I thought that was pot when I was little. And it didn't get me drunk. But now I'm on the different stuff.
What are you on now?
Pernod and lager. I like a sherry now and then.
Now and then, if I've got a bit of money left at the end of the night, I'll have a couple of shots of whiskey or something. Or Pernod.
Bitter. And shorts when I got enough money.
What kind of shorts?
Gin. Gin and Pernod, and that's about it, really. My old man brought me some homebrew stuff. So I just kept making it. Because he made it and we used to rob that. So he brought us some so we didn't have to rob his.
And how much do you make?
Well, 40 pints at a time.
And how often do you do that?
Every week. Every week sometimes. I've got 2 barrels now, see, so I make one lot. And then we have to drink the next lot. We have to drink the one what's ready. And we put it into another barrel, then we have to make another one to fill the next one up.
And how do you drink it?
How?
Do you have friends round?
Yeah, just us 2 mostly. He comes occasionally. Yeah.
Do you know what excessive drinking does to your health, or can do to your health?
Something to do with the liver. Cirrhosis of the liver, yeah?
Do you know what that is?
No.
Do you know any other effects of alcohol?
No.
Heart disease, give you heart disease and things like that.
Do you know how much you need to drink to get those things?
No, not really. I think it's got to be every day. You know, you've got to drink every day, shorts or stuff like that. I don't know whether beer can give you the same effects, but no shorts does it.
Can do your brain in. Do the same to your brain. That's what fags can do.
You need to drink loads, though, didn't you, to get like that?
How much?
Loads. I reckon you have to go every day and every night. 7 days a week.
For how long?
Years. Takes a long time to get like that, though, doesn't it? Till it kills you.
This is the body of a middle-aged man with a history of prolonged alcohol abuse. The skin is deeply yellow, the abdomen swollen. There is wasting of the muscles. Both testes are shrunken, and there is some enlargement of the breasts. Alcohol causes a more rapid loss of brain cells, and this may result in shrinkage of the brain, as is evident in this case. Of course, alcohol can also have major psychological effects. With this man's long history of alcohol abuse, I'll be looking specifically for evidence of cancer of the mouth, cancer of the esophagus, evidence of heart disease, and I can see already that there's cirrhosis of the liver. I've now removed the cirrhotic liver, or hobnail liver as it's used to be called, and one can see the diffuse nodularity, and this is very striking when compared to the normal smooth surface of a liver taken from a non-cirrhotic patient. Approximately 6 cans of beer, or a bottle of wine, or a third of a bottle of spirits daily over a period of years may produce a similar picture. Of course, the level for women is much lower and is approximately half those figures I gave.
I wouldn't get like that for a long time. If I was going to get like it, it'd be when I was older, a lot older.
If you're going out every night of the week and drinking, what, 5 or 6 pints of it, that's when it's getting a bit much. It's got to be. That's not what we do. We just go out for like a sociable drink, me and my friends. Not drinking just for the sake of it.
It's all right just to go out now and then for a drink, but I wouldn't go out every day. I'd get bored with it. I only really go down the pub, just talk to mates and things like that.
I wouldn't let myself get like that. You know, it's wrong. Like, you should go out and have a drink, you know, there's nothing wrong with
A
that.
sociable drink, yeah, even if you...
But
you
you shouldn't let it get out of hand.
I won't become an alcoholic.
Why not?
I know when to stop, and I've had too much. I mean, last week I had a bit too much, and I took it out on my boyfriend, and he smashed 2 windows, so it's a waste of time when you just can start trouble.
How much was too much?
Too much was I had 4 Pernod's, had 1 whiskey, and I had lager. What was it, lager and blackcurrant? And I don't usually have whiskey. That's probably what did it.
When do you decide that you've had enough to drink?
And there wasn't any left.
When it's time to go home.
Yeah.
I always just wait until the last bell and have a drink and go.
What about hangovers?
I don't get them when I drink pub beer. It's when I don't get hangovers. I get when I drink my own brew. It's sort of like
where's my head in the morning?
Yeah. And when you drink it when it ain't ready, that's the worst. Because it still ferments in your stomach and you stay drunk for about 2 days.
Do you miss work when that happens?
Yeah. All the time. I don't go to work much. Well, I do. But when I go out drinking, I don't go the next day.
I mean, I just can't face food in the mornings after I've been drinking the following night. Just can't stand food. That's all it does to me. It stops me eating for a day or something. And I get stomachache all the time.
Well, if I'm drinking beer, I feel ill before I'm drunk. I do get a bit tipsy. If I'm drinking shorts, I get absolutely legless.
To see how much these teenagers knew how different drinks might affect them, we asked them to arrange the ones on this tray in order of alcoholic strength. What they did not know was that all the drinks contain the same amount of alcohol.
I think. Now put the red wine, swap the cider and the wine together.
These are all half-pint glasses, and the wine and spirits are single English pub measures. And it wasn't just the teenagers who got it wrong. Their parents and relatives all did the same test.
Well, that's a martini, which is very, very weak, isn't it? But it's not so much alcohol content in it.
The white wine has to go in the middle then. Put the white wine next to the red wine there, that's it.
Right, can I just tell you now that, in fact, they're all exactly the same amount of alcohol in all those drinks? Does that surprise you?
Yes, it does. I thought whiskey was strong.
No, what do you mean by the same amount of alcohol?
Quantity, isn't it?
a quantity, but not the actual percentage of alcohol.
Yes, that whiskey contains the same amount of alcohol as in the cider, as in the beer, as in all the other drinks.
And what about the wine?
Same.
It's all the same, is it?
But the whiskey would be much more stronger. The
Whiskey's stronger than
sherry
lager
and
or
vodka.
anything.
If people don't realise the strength of what they're drinking, it's hardly surprising they don't know how low the limits are for maintaining good health.
We'll be all right then, won't we?
A few drinks each week can actually be good for you, but alcohol is the third major health hazard in Britain because so many of us ignore the advice of the Health Education Council. Women are recommended to go drinking no more than 3 times a week and to drink no more than the equivalent of 1.5 pints of bitter each time. 3 times a week is the limit for men too, and they should stick to 3 pints or its equivalent. But knowing your limit seems irrelevant when drink is so important for socialising.
Like at the pub where I go to, I didn't know anybody there. And I saw those two come in, and I'd seen them at school, and I'd had a few drinks, and they just had a few drinks, and I just got talking to them about it. That's how I got to know them. Or I just wouldn't have, you know, if I'd have had any drink inside me, I probably wouldn't have even talked to them. You know, if I was drinking orange squash, I wouldn't have talked to them.
Have you ever done anything that you've regretted when you've been drunk?
Yeah.
What?
Having a tattoo done.
A tattoo?
Mm.
Where did you have that done?
On my arm.
What happened?
I was drunk the other day, and I said to my friend, will you do me a tattoo? So he said he did it one, and yes, when was it? This morning. I really regretted it, you know, having a tattoo done.
Why?
Because, you know, later on in life, you can't wear nice dresses and that, can you? Just having a tattoo on your arm.
So if you hadn't been drinking, you might not have had it
I wouldn't have had it done. Not at all. I had to tell my mum today, in case she found out.
Well, when we were drunk, we used to go out looking for fights and big gang fights and things like that. Or we'd go out vandalising places, something like that.
Why did you stop?
Well, I got into trouble with the police, and my mum kept me in when I was in trouble, so I just stayed. I stayed away, and then we all started breaking up anyway.
Well, there's been one when I was drunk. That's when I was hanging around with some skinheads, and a whole lot of trendies got some mods and some skins. So we smashed these cider bottles, and then we didn't see these police coming to us, so we got, arrested then.
Convictions for drunkenness exceed 150,000 each year. Around 6,000 of those are under 18s. Alcohol is linked with many kinds of criminal behaviour. 1/5 of all violent crimes. 1/3 of child assaults. 1/2 of all wife battering cases, and 1/2 of all murders. In Scotland, a study showed 6 out of 10 young offenders were drunk at the time of their offence, and 1/3 of all those detained were dependent on alcohol. Yet surprisingly little seems to have been done about it. Torquay appears to be one of the few police forces to have tried a scheme to prevent drunken crime.
Drink plays a part in almost every aspect of police work in varying degrees, depends on the type of activity we're considering, from general hooliganism through crime, right down to the simple everyday domestic disputes that we're called upon to attend. Problems have always occurred for us in Torquay, and I'm sure in other holiday resorts, particularly in the summer, because there's a large influx of people into the area bent on enjoying themselves, quite understandably. Unfortunately, for a certain section of these people, enjoyment means heavy intake of alcohol, and with all the problems that brings for us. It was decided one summer to pay quite close attention to certain of the pubs and clubs in the Harbourside area of Torquay. What happened was that in the beginning of the summer, we visited all of these premises and spoke to the licensees, managers or whatever, and agreed with them a policy that we would be coming into premises during the summer with specific intention of looking for underage drinking and also signs of drunkenness on the premises. Close cooperation was promised on both sides, and the visits went ahead in an atmosphere of amicableness, I think I should make it clear, and make quite overt physical checks of people there who were perhaps thought to be under the age of 18 and possibly drinking alcohol. It was found that in the year of the experiment, arrests for offences decreased by something like 20% over the previous years, the same period of the previous year. Reported crime as well went down by just under 16%. I think this is quite significant as well. My personal view, and I must stress that this is my personal view, is that there's quite a bit of mileage to be made from a closer enforcement of Licensing Act.
Alcohol enters the bloodstream more quickly on an empty stomach, if the drink is bubbly, a fortified wine, or diluted spirits. The reason, in fact, these drinks often appear to go straight to your head. Each person's liver removes alcohol from the blood at a different speed. A healthy average man will break down about half a pint of bitter or a small glass of wine an hour. Women take longer. This amount on a full stomach is thought to be the limit for an average healthy 11-stone man. Women are in danger even sooner. 3 single measures will put a healthy, average 9-stone woman, even if she's eaten a meal, at the legal limit for driving. But being legally free to drive doesn't guarantee you'll be safe on the roads. Even though this woman might legally be safe, her driving is obviously impaired. Some years ago, experienced bus drivers with awards for safe driving were asked to volunteer for an experiment which we reconstructed. Through what size gap were they sure they could drive their 8-foot bus successfully?
Can you get through it now?
I think I can now you've moved it to shade.
The test took place at the end of their shift, so the drivers had drunk no alcohol. The men found their judgment was spot on. But then, for the experiment, they were given alcohol. 1, 2, and sometimes 3 double whiskies, each the equivalent of a pint of bitter. When their judgment and skill were tested again, even drinking as little as 1 double whiskey made some drivers falsely optimistic.
You think you can do it now?
Oh, yes, no problem.
Go ahead, then.
They attempted to drive through a smaller gap than the 8-foot bus. Yet the teenagers we talked to were disturbingly unaware of how alcohol affected their driving. Derek drives a scooter.
The more I drink, the safer I feel. Just makes me think more when I'm drunk. I'm legless.
But can you steer properly?
Yeah, steer better. Do better wheelies as well.
You're having me on, aren't you?
No, he's serious. Honest, he's serious.
I've drove home plenty of times from pubs, sober. I've nearly had crashes, and I've drove plenty of times from pubs, legless, and I haven't come close to an accident.
It makes you think more when you're drunk.
They're all convinced that they're perfect drivers when they've had a few pints. And so they'll have a few more. And that's fine until such time as they get stopped. That's if they're lucky.
Of those driving home after 10:30 at night, almost 1 in 4 men and 1 in 13 women have drunk enough to put them over the legal limit. On Saturdays, those figures are higher.
The way we spot people who've been drinking and driving is because of exaggerated movements, careless or reckless driving, or again, overcautious driving. Someone who's over the limit and knows he's over the limit, but has got enough sense to try and control it, will drive exactly at 30 miles an hour. In places where we normally wouldn't expect them to drive at 30 miles an hour. For example, on a wide, empty road in the early hours of the morning when there's no traffic about.
Can assist. Serious PI accident in Park Road.
MP from Oscar Sierra 17 show us assisting over. Right, Davey, let's go.
The drink driving regulations are largely ignored because people believe, often from past experience, that they're unlikely to get caught. The police are often too busy picking up the pieces of those who may never drink or drive again. For experienced drivers, the risk of an accident doubles when they have drunk enough to put them at the legal limit. For inexperienced drivers, young drivers or occasional drinkers, the risk is 5 times greater. Almost half the drivers killed on the road have been drinking, and 1 in 3 killed is over the legal limit. 2,000 deaths and 10,000 serious injuries on the roads each year are positively linked with alcohol. Some drivers may be drunk but are too badly injured to be breathalyzed, and drunk pedestrians are not breathalyzed if they cause an accident and live. More than 1 in 4 of the pedestrians killed have over the legal limit of alcohol in their blood.
Don't know why the accident happened. Don't know at this stage whether or not the driver's been drinking or not. The officers considered that he couldn't go to hospital to breathalyse him because these injuries were too bad. If they're lucky enough to get caught before they have an accident, all they're going to do is lose their licence. If they're not lucky, they're going to lose their life.
A high proportion of those premature deaths take toll of the young. During just 5 days last winter, we recorded some of the young deaths on the road. A 19-year-old motorcyclist was killed with 1.5 times the legal limit of alcohol in his blood. His pillion passenger was 16. He died too. An 18-year-old was killed having drunk enough to be at more than double the legal limit. A 17-year-old was killed with more than 3 times the legal limit. The grim reality of drinking, so different from its image of sex appeal and fun. In this 70s advertisement, these blood-red lips drew ladylike attention to Guinness. Today they use this tattoo to highlight a male image. On their beer mat, Courage showed George, a cuddly bear on one side, with a following of energetic cartoon characters on the other, making drinking Courage beer look such good fun. Pernod draw attention to their product by using exciting colours and an erotically dressed woman. In both these advertisements, the glass is shown radiating light and warmth. Alcohol is portrayed in about 1 in 3 television programmes, usually in association with affluence, glamour, success, style, relief from stress and virility. No one knows whether advertisements or television actually encourage people to drink.
No. Yes, yes.
Oh, no, you know I never drink.
You did the other night.
Television reflects what happens in life. Despite its physical effects, people want alcohol to help them have fun.
Alcohol doesn't agree with me. If I stick to just lager, that's okay, but the Pernod's and that, or vodka, or Scotch whisky milk or something like that, makes me sick.
So if it makes you feel sick, why do you drink it?
Because everybody else is doing it. I don't want to be left out, do I? I think, you know, well, if I've got the money, I'll buy it. Something to do, ain't it? I ain't going to miss out on the fun, you know, because you have a laugh when you're drunk and that.
How would you feel about drinking tonic water or orange juice or...?
Oh, no. It's a shout, drinking orange juice.
I feel a twat.
You feel a right wally, though, don't you, when you... Say you're up somewhere with all your mates, and they're drinking something, and you walk up with a pint of orange. They take the piss, sort of.
Why?
Well, I don't know, they just do, don't they?
Would you make fun of somebody who's drinking orange juice?
Yeah.
You know, I don't like pop. I don't drink it in the house, and I don't particularly want to come out to drink it. I think I'd probably rather stop in. I'd rather have a cup of tea if I come out than have a glass of pop or... But it's just part of socialising.
But I'm not happy about kids or children drinking underage because they don't know what's happening to them.
Why do you think they're starting younger now?
Perhaps because they've got more money. They do tend to get a lot of pocket money to what I used to get as a child. Also the fact there is little places to go to other than the pubs. There's no social life whatsoever for youngsters today, so therefore they're drawn into it, I think.
I think that at that age they're influenced by other people. An elder person, and like, there's a 3 or 4 at one time, you got, say, 18, he's old enough to drink anyhow, and the rest is 17, 16, well, they want to copy him.
You don't think they try and copy parents? They don't think they...
Yeah,
well,
I do.
Yes,
I do.
Yes, but...
Yeah. I think that they copy parents a lot. If their life is based around pubs, if their parents are continually going out and leaving them on their own.
She's at the age now, she's leaving school, and she goes to disco, she meets her friends, because a lot of them, they all drink, and she just likes to drink now and again, and to go out and enjoy herself.
When your son Rob was drinking a bottle of sherry and a bottle of cider each day, how did you handle it?
No, well, see, I mean, at first I wasn't aware it was drink. I thought it was something far more serious, like glue or drugs or something like that. It was only, say, a few weeks after that I found out from his brother that he was at the youth club and he was drunk.
We have a drink with dinner, so, I mean, he's used to having a drink. Not in great quantities, but he's used to having a drink.
He makes home beer as well.
He makes his own beer, yes. And that way, perhaps he drinks it in rather than go out, because, I mean, kids of today don't get very much money.
I mean, I think if you start drinking when you're young and you like the taste of it, you're going to keep drinking, ain't you? I mean, like, even if you start drinking in your adult life, like, you know, you're still going to carry on drinking if you like it. What's going to stop you, apart from money?
He doesn't have the money to drink to that. I mean, he usually is always borrowing money off me anyway for this, that and the other, cigarettes, petrol, etc. He usually drinks, well, he says he drinks shandy, but I mean, I should think he probably drinks beer anyway. But I don't think that he drinks to that extent, because he hasn't got the money to drink to that extent.
You can go out and sit down and have one drink, and get talking with friends, and have another drink, and get talking again. And sometimes you don't realise just how much you're drinking.
So when do you decide to stop?
Well, I know when I decide to stop is when I feel to myself, I feel a bit sick and I don't want any more. That's when I stop straight away.
I don't think you can say, oh, I'm going to drink so-and-so and I'm going to stick to it, because you don't.
I think that depends on how you feel at the time.
I think you'd want your children to do that, but you don't do it yourself.
But the young follow the example of adults. And in the last 20 years, drunkenness offences in the underage have trebled. 2,000 premature deaths a year result directly from years of heavy drinking. The under-30s are not immune. A further 5,000 drink-related deaths are due to accidents. Many young people grow out of uncontrolled drinking, but a significant minority do not. The British Medical Association has called for immediate government action, concerned that problem drinking in the young could soon explode. And it's not just their problem, it is everyone's.
What will the world do now?